Forget everything you think you know about running a home. Really, I mean it. Toss it out. It's not gonna help you here. And what I'm about to tell you is going to sound completely backwards, but trust me when I tell you, this is the only way that got me out of being a hot mess mom to a mom that now has it mostly together. The foundation of my Homeflow framework is actually going to require that you slow down before you even speed up. And I know that sounds ridiculous because how can it possibly be that when you slow down? But just give me a couple of minutes and I know that your home is going to start making sense again. And before we dive right in, let me be clear, this is not a hustle harder approach, do more approach, or stress yourself out even more. This is for real life moms who are overworked, burnt out, overwhelmed, and feel like their house is running them versus them running their household. Today's video, I want to chat about my Homeflow framework overview so that you can find yourself in the current season of life, learn how to better serve yourself in that season, and finally feel like you are functioning at the highest potential that you could be. And listen, while I could sit here and tell you that, hey, you are in a difficult season of your life, you have tiny kids, you're overwhelmed, it's okay. It's okay that your life is a mess. It's okay that your home is a mess. I could tell you all of those things, but honestly and realistically, none of that is actually going to help you feel better. It's not going to help you get your house on track, and it's not serving you if I lie to you. So today I want to cover the importance of why I feel that getting your house in order is going to be a complete and total mental, physical, emotional shift in your home. I want to talk about the first shift, and that is rescue mode. And this is the area where a lot of us find us. If you're watching this video, chances are you're in rescue mode. You just don't know it. Rescue mode is typically the area where a lot of new moms fall in, those who are burnt out. Maybe you've experienced a huge life change, or you're taking care of family members who are sick. And this is the area where you really only need to focus on the bare minimum. You're not going to be looking at organizational bins and systems and some crazy like aesthetic Pinterest worthy inspiration. You are going to set up the basic systems to keep your home functioning. Right now, you're going to focus on 4 things: feeding your family, doing dishes once a day, doing a load of laundry once a day, and staying alive. That's it. Those are the only 4 things that in rescue mode that you need to be prioritizing. If that means that you are using paper plates every single day, so be it. This is the area where you can utilize hacks and tricks and maybe meal prep services if you can do it. This is the season where you're going to prioritize convenience and not feel bad about it. We're talking using paper plates, robot vacuums, meal delivery services, grocery deliveries, anything that can make your life easier in this stage of life that you can be hands off, so be it. As long as you're focusing on 1 load of laundry, 1 load of dishes, feeding your family, and keeping everybody alive, that is your main goal. If it takes you a week to be in survival mode, or if it takes you a year to be in survival mode, at least the very basic needs of your family are met. This is a process of stabilization. You need to stabilize yourself in this season of life and focus on those 4 things and your own mental health, because you cannot rebuild off of burnout. Now, this leads me on to the sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. One of the biggest lessons that I teach women, especially in my Homeflow framework, is that your home is not going to be able to run smoothly if you are running on empty. And that's why I believe talking to someone can be such a huge help. BetterHelp makes getting support so much easier without any guilt, without any shame, and without knowing community. We're not all blessed with having community or friends nearby that we can reach out to, and so BetterHelp is always there. They'll also connect you with a licensed therapist who is actually trained to listen and to offer up advice. All you need to do is fill out a questionnaire and you get matched with a person in just a couple of days. And if the therapist that you're matched with is not the right fit, you can always ask to have another therapist at no extra charge. Plus, BetterHelp accepts FSA and HSA cards as well, so you can get help paying for your therapy. In 2024 alone, over 137,000 people use their HSA or FSA cards for therapy through BetterHelp, and they have over 7,000 reviews with 4.3 star rating, which means that it is a platform that you can trust. If you're ready to lighten the mental load, whether you're in survival mode or rebuilding mode or in any of those modes, you can click the link in my description and get 10% off of your first month. Okay, once the chaos starts to soften a bit, you, my friend, are in rebuilding mode. Rebuilding mode looks like developing simple rhythms every single day that you can build off of. For me, this was creating a morning loop as well as an evening loop. Every morning, I would focus on doing 3 basic tasks. I would wake up and I would make my bed, I would unload the clean dishes from the dishwasher, and I would toss in 1 load of laundry to be washed. And in the evening, I had a very basic closing routine, and that was simply to clean my kitchen and load up dirty dishes into the dishwasher. That was it. This is also where you can introduce super simple ingredient prep, whether it's building out a capsule kitchen or just having very basic ingredients on hand every single week so you can make meals. This is also where you can start thinking about decluttering, whether it's a simple decluttering challenge or setting a timer every single day for 10-15 minutes and picking an area to declutter every single day. And this is also an area where you can start thinking about creating a zone cleaning schedule. So you're going to break down your house into maybe 6 different areas, 7 if you really want to do it every single day. But when you're breaking your house into those areas, you're also going to include areas or times for when you are just simply catching up from non-cleaning. So whether you had a couple of days where somebody is sick, or maybe you got knocked back down into survival mode for a couple days, your zone cleaning routine needs to account for those days. So for me, those days are Monday, which is a house reset day, but also I have that on Saturdays as well. So let's say if my week went really good from Monday to Tuesday, but then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I had completely failed cleaning any of my zones, I don't stress out so much because I know that come Saturday, I have an opportunity to reset my home again. This is finally the area where you stop just surviving the mess and constantly living in a state of like chaos and survival and just getting to the next day. This is where you're making a plan. Okay, once you're kind of stable in that rebuilding mode, and maybe you have kids who are in school, you have a more predictable schedule, maybe you have a couple hours every day that are structured and you kind of know what's going to happen. This is what I like to call refining mode. And this is my favorite mode to be in because I feel like this is the one where I can stay in consistently. When I am checking my blood work, when I am taking my supplements, when I'm staying on top of my health, this is where I find myself that I stay in the longest. And in refining mode, I polish off my zone cleaning schedule. I make sure to follow that. I have my loop routine that I follow every single day. This is where I also follow my capsule kitchen method, and I make sure to prep all of my ingredients once a week. This is also where I buy my meat in bulk and I stock up my freezer so that we have our proteins just done and set aside for the entire month. This is also the area where I will go around my home and I will look for clutter points, pain points, anything that's causing friction or clutter to build up in my home or causing me to spend more time cleaning than I really need to, and I will develop a system for every single pain point in my home. Now, refining mode is also the area where you're going to be refining some of your automations, things like home delivery, smart home gadgets. For me, I like to use the Amazon Alexa plug, digital calendars, anything that's going to be put on automation so it'll make your life run a little bit smoother. This is also the area where I'm kind of starting to think a little bit ahead and just beyond today or this week. I'm going to think about future decluttering projects. I'm going to think about future events, birthday parties, and kind of already making a plan going forward how I'm going to be tackling those events in life. This is also the area of where I'm going to pre-schedule certain appointments. So if I'm at a dog groomer's appointment, as I'm sitting there, I'm also going to be pre-scheduling the next one. If I'm at a pediatrician appointment, while I'm there, I'm also going to pre-schedule and put on my calendar the next pediatrician appointment. So I'm utilizing automation and also thinking ahead. So you're thinking beyond of what's happening just today and this week. This is the area where your goal is to refine everything little by little. Okay, now this next mode is really a mode that a lot of people either won't get to or they'll get to and just won't be able to stay there for very long, including myself. I have yet to consistently get to rhythm mode and stay there in a rhythm. And that's totally okay. This mode is where you're highly organized, you're highly functioning, you have peak levels of energy, you have a support system, maybe your kids are in school, you have a very predictable energy level as well as a schedule. And the thing is, you're not meant to stay in this mode constantly, consistently, because for me personally, it's just not realistic. But this is still something that I'm always striving towards. This is the goal. This is where I'm trying to get get to. This is where I'm maintaining a deep cleaning schedule and I'm following it constantly. This is where I can host guests with ease at any given point because I always know that my house is host ready. This is where I am refining my home organization with seasonal purging. Maybe I'm starting to build out capsule wardrobes for my kids. I'm purging their closets. I'm constantly going over their things and I'm thinking ahead and I'm just on top of my game. This is also where I'm teaching my kids responsibility as well, and I'm relying on them to do their share of their work. And this is also an area where you can outsource if you have the ability to, the means to. This is where you can outsource, whether it's your home cleaning, maybe it's some meal management, whatever it may be. This is also an area where you are kind of strategically thinking how to outsource your home management. This is the highest level of a home flow, but even in that, it's still not about perfection. This is also a place where typically most people will have a strong support system. Maybe your husband doesn't work as much and is able to help around at home. Maybe you have family or relatives who are constantly around that can help you, or maybe you hire someone for that support system. But once again, this is not about perfection. It's about really reaching a level of consistency. So what do I want to tell you now that you know the entire framework? The way you manage your home is going to depend entirely on what season you're in. It's not about wishing if you were in a different season or wishing that you could strive to go to whatever season. Find the season that you currently identify with today. When you honor the season that you're in, whether it's rescue, rhythm, rebuild, or refining, or whatever mode that you may find yourself, whether it's in between all of them, that is going to be the secret of what's actually going to make your home function along with you versus against you. Slow down and be honest with your season. I know we want to jump ahead and go to whatever season might seem ideal, but that's not the goal. Now, as a former hot mess mom, I beg you not to give in to the area of, oh, this is just rescue mode for the rest of my life. I promise you it gets better. But the goal is to work on those systems in rescue mode, in rhythm mode, in whatever mode you find yourself in. It's to actively look for areas where you can improve, where you can reduce friction and help yourself. I hope at least one of you found this video helpful. And if you have any more questions about how I run my home, the seasons, the systems, the framework itself, you can drop a comment down below and I'll be sure to answer it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one.